This week marks 3 years since the beatification of Archbishop Fulton Sheen was postponed. Now, when you think of the word postponed, you would imagine that there would be a later date that it would be scheduled for. And we are now 3 years from that happening, and there is no future date in sight. The big concern raised at the time was the 2-year window that New York was allowing for childhood abuse victims to sue churches, hospitals, schools, and other organizations. There were 9,000 lawsuits filed. Of those lawsuits, none of them have named Archbishop Fulton Sheen. And the Pillar mentions that while New York's Attorney General filed a sweeping lawsuit against the Diocese of Buffalo last year, no similar action has been taken against Sheen's former Diocese of Rochester. So here we are a year after the window closes, and there's no signs that Bishop Sheen will be charged for cover-up or anything like that. So from my perspective, I'm like, let's get this thing moving, but they could be waiting for the Attorney General report. While that is a valid concern, I wish the church could move forward based off the evidence they've gained so far. It would be different if there were potential cover-up allegations and things of this nature, but to this point, he's been cleared, and this was the shortest tenure he had in his episcopacy, just 3 years in Rochester. And in about a minute, you'll see an interview I did with Ryan last July talking about this. He looked into this deeply, and there I said, we'll probably be sitting here a year from now, still waiting for the beatification to be rescheduled. We're past a year and a half from then, and we're still waiting. It's really discouraging for us Catholics to see the lack of courage to move forward. So I hope this will change. Please like and share this video. We really need to speak out to those that have influence on this and say, hey, Bishop, can you find out what's going on with this canonization? Can you get this moving? He looks like he's been cleared. There's been no lawsuits against him. What's going on? Because if there was something even slightly related to Fulton Sheen, it would be all over the secular news. This Catholic hero we have, if there was anything related to this, it would be everywhere. But nothing has come up, and we just need to move forward at this point because Fulton Sheen helped make so many saints through God's grace. And I'm sure if he's beatified, Christ will only continue to touch souls through him. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And for an overview of what happened and more detail, listen to this interview I did with Ryan.
What happened was on December 3rd in 2019, the Diocese of Peoria came out and said, hey, there's a postponement. Basically, bishops from the USCCB have stated that we should stall the process. And December 5th is when the Diocese of Rochester kind of took the lead in the dioceses that were asking for the postponement. And then that was 2.5. So December 3rd was 2.5 weeks before the beatification would have happened, which was on December 21st. And, we're currently, 18, 19 months later, nothing's happened. I mean, admittedly, we had a worldwide pandemic and people, governments reacted, but, and dioceses reacted the way they did, but you would think that there still would be a lot of it was just a paper trail. That's what they were looking into. Secretary work. You don't need a whole lot of collaboration with that. Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of where we're at right now. Is we're just kind of waiting. We're playing a wait game. Peoria is the diocese in which he was ordained and which carried the cause for sainthood is still promoting it. They're still promoting the cause for canonization, but nothing's been heard from the Vatican or the Diocese of Rochester, which is the place, kind of the diocese that made the claim about why the postponement happens.
We saw that the postponement happened because of potential allegations. Have there been any discoveries made since then?
Well, the allegations of those allegations, that's how I kind of interpret them, were already considered when Peoria and the Vatican kind of combed through Sheen's past. So those were already addressed, and that just kind of raises questions as to why the Diocese of Rochester brought that up, and hasn't really further, explained that position.
And how long was he in Rochester for?
3 years, 1966 to 1969.
Interesting. So the diocese he was in for the shortest duration was the one that had the qualms, while the other dioceses didn't, and the Vatican and Peoria looked into this. So that is very odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very odd. It's very suspicious.
There was conversation that the beatification would wait until the New York grand jury report came out. Is he related to that? Has there been any update there?
So the update is that the Diocese of Rochester was given a period of time for people to kind of come up and make allegations from the past, and they had until August 13th of 2020. Unlike other dioceses that have to wait until August 14th of this year, and the reason for that was because the Diocese of Rochester filed bankruptcy, and so that's kind of where it's at. If there's going to be a grand jury report, it's going to be after August 14th in 2021, when the deadlines have been met.
So was Archbishop Sheen found on that list in Rochester?
When you go to the website for the Attorney General, they have suspected priests. I didn't see any bishops on there, but they have suspected priests of allegations, and I didn't see Sheen's name on there. Now, I couldn't tell if it was a current, living priest or if it was an old priest, because it was all in the same area in regards to where the allegations were coming from, in regards to the timeline and the kind of the timeline of limitations for making those allegations.
So long story short is Archbishop Sheen was not on that list in the diocese that held up the cause.
Right, absolutely. He was not on that list. And it is kind of a little suspect that it's, like you said, the last diocese he was at, that was the shortest amount of time, that this allegation comes about with nothing being said.
So, Brian, what do you think we can do to kind of, because just from a outside perspective, you would say, okay, well, the diocese, on the Attorney General's list doesn't have Archbishop Sheen listed as a suspect, and the time is up, so we should be able to move forward with this, unless we want to wait for, another year or however long that is. What do you think we can do to kind of stir up, an urgency for this?
I guess instead of making a video like this, obviously you want to pray, but really just spreading the information around. We currently are in a climate where we kind of sit on information about certain priests that we may have an attachment to, and we want to promote them. But then we have an issue where we have someone who, on almost every turn, has been postponed the beatification within the beatification process, and we kind of just have a one-off statement, and then nobody ever talks about it until someone else like us talks about it. This is kind of a real big deal when you start looking at the canonization process as a whole, because you end up sorry, my earbud keeps popping out for some reason, but it causes you to say, all right, well, the canonization process, why is it different in this case as opposed to other cases? Why do we treat such scrutiny here? Why does as opposed to other cases? If something like this happened to Father McGivney when he was going through the process, the Knights of Columbus would have been there, but there isn't something like the Knights of Columbus that have Fulton Sheen's backing, or that back Fulton Sheen that way. So it has to be a bit more organic.
Yeah, and really, who's caused more of a impact in Catholicism in the United States than Archbishop Fulton Sheen? I don't really know of anyone. he was a major player, and it's so sad to think that we just kind of accept a potential answer and then just sit on that until something else happens. So, I mean, I remember how excited I was when I heard that news that there was a beatification. I was like, man, this is amazing. And then it was just canceled, and we've heard nothing. I mean, that's actually what I thought was going to happen. I was like, well, they're just going to postpone it or whatever it is, and we're just never going to hear anything about it.
One of the things I wanted to bring up was in this situation, so the bishops are our spiritual fathers. And so, like, there's a family dynamic going on here, whether people want to look at it that way or not. But it's kind of like, when you have a father and they tell their children, oh, we'll go and do this. You just got to wait. You just got to wait. You just got to wait. And you keep saying wait, and then the kids forget. That's kind of like a little bit on the head of exactly what's going on here. And it's really unfortunate because most of us are adults, and exactly like what you said, like people came to a deeper faith because of watching Fulton Sheen in a lot of videos of what he did. Like, he's the first televangelist. He made Catholicism a household name in Protestant households.
Yes.
Because of what he was saying.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen now unless, maybe you're talking about things you really shouldn't be talking about and promoting. So,
yeah,
it's really
definitely
kind of a weird situation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a witness that we need today. And, I know he's changed the world by his love for a holy hour. And who knows, like Father Mike Schmitz always talks about that, doing his holy hour. And imagine the world without that, look at the role he's played. And I'm not here to say that we should rush to canonize everyone, right? But in this case, where allegations were vetted both by the Vatican and the Diocese of Peoria, the fact that at the last minute, a diocese is going to, voice concern and then not move ahead is just, it's really kind of frustrating. So, again, here we are a year and a half later, and no news. I mean, literally I've heard nothing. So everyone that's working for the cause for Archbishop Sheen, thank you for all the hard work you're doing. And
thanks.
I hope that you have more work coming up to loosen this and get him beatified. So Ryan actually did a great video on the first miracle of Fulton Sheen, and so you can check that out at his channel. It's definitely something great to see, and goes into the details of it from a medical perspective and shows the true miracle that it is.
Right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It was a great one, and I enjoyed watching it. So you guys go check out his channel and like and share this video. Have a blessed day, and God love you.